Uh-oh. Ah, ah, ah. Uh-oh.
Does everybody know what time it is?
Home Impodcast time.
That's right. Binford Tools is proud to present a home improvement podcast. My name is Adam Yola, my co-host Jordan. Hi, Jordan.
Adam, spooky episode, but I'm not feeling as spooky since it's past Halloween.
I know, we were so close here. Yeah, I thought about, maybe going out of order for the first time in the podcast run, but it seemed kind of stupid.
156 episodes in, they might as well switch it up,
I mean, this episode's so scary, though, that you don't even really need to have it come on Halloween.
Yeah, you could watch it on, like Valentine's Day, and you're still gonna have nightmares, so.
Do you have another Halloween quiz you want to give me?
I mean, you did so well in the first one, I don't want to ruin that reputation.
No, that's fine. Jordan, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing, man?
Fine.
What's wrong with your mic? You okay?
I moved it. Did you hear that?
I hear a lot of things going on over there.
I slid it across the table because I want to kind of kick back and relax.
Yeah, let's get into a comfortable position for this episode because we're gonna be here a while.
Yeah, this might be the first regular episode we do that hits 2 hours because I have a lot to say.
Have we ever? I guess maybe
a movie maybe has.
Yeah, we've recorded really long movie episodes.
I think our first Santa Claus movie episode is
longer than the movie.
Yeah, so we can officially say we are covering Christmas with the Cranks. Don't expect it to be this longer than the movie, unless, I don't know, things really change. I saw that that's on Netflix right now, so that is good for
did see that.
Us and streaming.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're paying for Netflix right now. I know it changes depending on the direction of the wind. But
just canceled my membership today because I signed up for Disney Plus.
Is Cranks on Disney Plus?
I don't think that's a Disney film, so I'm not sure.
Probably
I haven't
not.
seen it, but I did see the Santa Claus 1, 2, and 3. So when we do get to the Santa Claus 3, I know exactly what you're going to do. Sign up for a free trial.
Well, if they're still offering. Yeah, well, Merry Cranksmas. We'll cover that, I think, probably on December 25th. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We have a Halloween episode today. And Jordan, you want to talk about something, so why don't you go ahead and introduce it?
Well, we talked about Disney Plus just a moment ago, and it's obviously a big topic. Just launched, by the time this comes out, a week and a couple days ago. But I did sign up early for the free trial, and it's been entertaining. It's got the big on nostalgia factor. Obviously, like you can watch all of your childhood cartoons. I guess my thought is like, for that, I know a lot of people are excited about that, but I have a feeling like you watch one of your favorite childhood cartoons, like one episode, and then you're like, oh yeah, this is for kids, and now I'm 30. So this isn't nearly as interesting. So I don't know how that's going to work going forward. Maybe the movies will do better. But I checked out a few different things. They have some live action stuff, some Jeff Goldblum, one of your favorites. And, I checked out the Mandalorian, which is the new Star Wars live action thing. Impressive, they've got some interesting filming stuff. I'm only halfway through that episode, but they do a good job of world building, lots of good costume design, all that good stuff there. So
yeah, I kind of feel like the Mandalorian is the only aspect of any of it that's interesting to me.
Yeah.
So I'll be curious to hear what you think when you finish the entire episode. Yeah,
and I think they're doing the thing where they release it like 1 week at a time, so not so bingey.
Dig it. I like that.
Yeah, I kind of like it too. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I mean, I turned on some old 90s Winnie the Pooh series for my daughter.
Okay, I'm glad it was for her, yeah.
She seemed to like that. Hey, it's a little bit for me too. Yeah. I remember.
Have you peeked the Home Improvement stuff on there yet? Have you gone and checked that out?
I think Home Improvement's going to stay strictly on Hulu.
Really? Okay.
I think so. Yeah. Because they do have a bundle with Hulu right now.
Okay.
Since Disney owns controlling stake in that too. So I didn't search like Home Improvement, but I did see some Tim Allen stuff on there. Like I said, all the Santa Claus stuff is on there. The Shaggy Dog's on there.
Oof, you can have that one.
So I didn't do a lot of deep diving into that, but if you're into, we have a friend in town, and we were talking about some old films that we grew up watching, like The Sword and the Stone, and Hercules, and Robin Hood, all those really nice classics. And I'm excited to relive some of those. and we'll see. But yeah, it's a lot of like their backlog, So
Yeah, it's interesting. I've seen, I've on Twitter. I didn't know when it was. All of a sudden, I saw it on Twitter, and everybody was talking about it. It's interesting. People seem really excited about things that were already pretty like readily available. Like I've seen people talking about how they're going to watch like all the Boy Meets World episodes, but those were already out there. So I guess it's just the fact that everything's together that excites people.
Yeah, I think having it all in one place helps. I mean, for like if you're a big Marvel fan, like having everything there is kind of amazing because that's really scattered.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. All the backlog of all the movies, like you could go back and start with. Like, they have Steamboat Willie on there, like the first, cartoon for Mickey, and, you can watch all of those old animated films. So, I like that aspect of it, but, like, the old TV shows that people used to watch, you're probably not going to binge all of Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers after you watch the first episode, and you're like, oh, yeah, this is for an 8-year-old, and I'm now 35. So, unless you have kids that you want to do with.
Some people might, Jordan, and hey, all the power to them.
For sure.
Let me ask you this. Are they keeping it pretty G-rated across the board?
Yeah, for sure. That's kind of I think that's what they're going to do with like Hulu is going to be, maybe a little bit more adult content.
Okay.
They did bring all of the Simpsons episodes onto Disney Plus.
Really?
And so that's interesting because obviously you don't necessarily think of that as a Disney property, but now with the Fox acquisition it's in there, and there's some other things that are related to that are in there. Some things that I forgot about that existed. I think we talked about. Remember The Big Green or something like that?
I saw that movie the day my grandfather died.
So that's forever etched in your memory, I'm sure.
Indeed, yes.
Yeah, so that was on there, like the Mighty Ducks movies.
You forgot about the Mighty Ducks movies?
I mean, there's just things that I don't think about, As much as I love Emilio Estevez, he's just not on my mind all the time.
Man, I swear to God, yeah.
Emilio! I think there's some interesting stuff to check out, but there is just a lot. I mean, there's a lot. You can just think of the catalog that they have and the price point that they have. But
is it moving pretty quickly? I know it was having some technical issues initially. People were struggling.
I really
with that.
only encountered a couple technical issues. Like there was this kind of like a documentary called The Imagineering Story, which kind of talks about creating Disneyland, and it's that type of a documentary. And I watched halfway through it, and then I went back, and then all of a sudden it disappeared from the library, stuff like that. Okay. But now it's back, so they had I think I read 10 million subscribers already, something crazy like that. So, but yeah, I'm interested for the Mandalorian, watching some of the new Marvel series when they come out. But I know it's. They're staggering those launches because they want to get this thing up and running. So the good thing for them is they have all that content to draw from until they get the new stuff out there. So
and I can't wait to. It's a little early for us to announce our partnership with Disney Plus, and that our episodes will be live on there. I think starting January 1st. Did you say originally?
Yeah, 2090.
Okay, all right, yeah. So
when they literally are just running out of content,
when the streaming wars actually occur, and there's real bloodshed. Yeah, no. I'm never gonna get Disney Plus, but I'm happy for the people that are enjoying it. And I don't know. I don't know how to feel about all this stuff. We talked about it quite a bit a while ago, a few episodes back. It's just sort of becoming very segmented. Everything is very separate. But, that's neither good nor bad, I guess. But it's
all up to the consumer, to how they consume it, right?
You know what, Jordan? And Arnold Schwarzenegger. No, never mind. No, I'm not going to finish that. I watched Toy Story 4, Jordan.
You did?
Yes, I did. Not on Disney Plus, and you said it's not there, so... Good.
Not there yet. I'm assuming it's coming soon. But so you saw it in theaters then, right?
No, it's on DVD now.
Oh, it's on DVD now.
Yeah,
okay,
I Redboxed. I'm probably one of the few people in the world that seems to still consistently use the Redbox.
I get emails from them every once in a while. It's a worthwhile service.
They're still doing big things. There's one within walking distance, so it's a cost-efficient way to watch new movies if you don't want to pay $5 or $6 to stream them. So yeah, I got Toy Story 4. Was having kind of a stressful day. Just wanted to watch something that I thought was gonna just be kind of fun and mellow and easy. And
did it do that?
It's pretty. There's some good laughs in there, and it's nice. It's And I guess I haven't watched the other ones in a long time, but it's quite sad, and maybe a little more sad than I bargained for in terms of comfort watch. But yeah, it's a nice movie. I'm sure you'll like it. I'm sure your daughter will like it, and the young ones will enjoy it. I will say, interestingly, Buzz Lightyear kind of takes a back seat in this one. I was surprised. Maybe not as focal of a role in this one. So
What about for Woody? Is he still pretty prominent?
He's. I mean, it's a Woody movie. Jordan.
Okay,
it's Woody's
all right.
movie. Buzz has got some business. He's interacting with like Key and Peele and kind of on like a side mission. They all meet up in the end. But yeah, it's very much not. Yeah, it's not a Buzz movie. I don't know. I wasn't aware of that coming in, but yeah, it's a nice movie.
I know in the trailers, Bo Peep was getting a lot of action. So I'm sure.
How do you mean?
In the most PG
Sure.
of senses, she was getting a lot of play because she
No,
wasn't
she definitely.
really in
It's
the first film. So
yeah, Bo Peep and Forky reign supreme in this one, and Forky is funny. So
Forky gets a little spin-off series in Disney Plus. So
of course he does. He's not that funny. I'll be honest. Like,
well, it's not like a whole series. It's like Forky and Ham are like the one episode that's on there is like, what is money? And so I haven't watched that, but it's like a 3 to 5 minute episode. So I imagine it's just kind of like a little thing for kids.
yeah, and for kids, I guess is the best way to describe all this because yeah, just out of my purview. But I did enjoy Toy Story 4. I think they could do without making a fifth one, but if they need $1 billion at some point in the future, they can go ahead and do that as well, and probably everything will be okay.
Yeah, I really thought, if you haven't seen 3 in a long time, you talked about how it is a little bit more emotional than you expected. 3 is definitely like that, and I remember thinking 3 was going to be it. It seemed like that was going to be their send-off, but they came back with a 4th one, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't compare it, so
Yeah,
I haven't
you'll see
seen
it
it
at
yet.
some point. You'll catch it, and then we can get into some spoilers.
We wouldn't do that now, would we? But we
No.
can. You know what we can do? Let's spoil episode 156, A Night to Dismember.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Go on.
I was taking a drink of my coffee. No, it's good.
All
Let's do it.
right, wet your whistle. Written by Eric Horsted. Lasted insult.
Wait, did you say Eric?
You're not doing that again.
All right,
That's enough.
Okay, all right. Fine.
Eric.
I'll take another drink of my coffee. That's what you want.
Eric Lasted insult to injury.
What was that?
That is the episode where Tim is gonna break the record and he separates his shoulder.
Oh, that
and
one
he's-
sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, we get that really scary kid at one point. Scary Gary.
Yeah, and his dad.
Scary Gary Sr., I guess. I don't know.
Yep.
This one, being a Halloween episode, aired October 28th, 1997. Another oldie title reference here. A Night to Remember from 1958. A movie about the Titanic. So, not a joyful movie, I imagine.
No, probably. I'd imagine not. I won't spoil that movie either, though, because some people might not know what happens at the end.
All right, let's get into alternative titles. You said you have 90?
1, 2, 3. I mean, there's so many. I don't know. We'll just have to see. I was going to say, I saw that there's a horror movie called A Night to Dismember from the late 80s as well.
Oh, you did? I did not see that.
It seemed like it was pretty low budge and maybe, I don't know, illegitimate in a lot of ways, but yeah. So, but I noticed that on IMDb they kind of want to cop to the more prestigious one. They don't want to give that one any play. But yeah,
When you say illegitimate, do you mean Legendary Ninja type of illegitimate?
you
or...
can bring that up.
I'm just trying to give myself perspective, not so much the audience.
Illegitimate, when you okay, so you know how they'll make a movie. Okay, there's a movie called Hurricane Heist, and then there's a company that will make movies based on. It'll be called Hurricanado Heist. They'll change a little bit of it, and they'll be really low budget, and they'll hope people pick it by accident. It's like that.
It's kind of what we did with Home and Podcast, right?
Well, I'd say that's what Gruntwork did with Home and Podcast.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'll let you start with alternative titles then.
All right, A Night to Dismember. Let's start with A Suburban Slaughter.
I'd rent that one at the old Blockbuster.
You must live in Oregon, where there's the only operating Blockbuster.
People say they miss Blockbuster, but they don't.
I never liked Blockbuster.
Family Video, or you
Paradise,
just didn't like
Paradise
any of
Video.
them? Well, that's because it was close to you.
And it was the most inexpensive, family-owned. I support local businesses.
It's true.
It's gone now, though, so that's sad.
What's there now?
I don't know. Went out of business like last May.
Jumbo Video did not last nearly as long.
Well, yeah.
Davison Video Stores.
Well, I went in there and the videotapes were the same size as normal ones, so I felt kind of ripped off.
All right. My first one is, and I think we did this before, but it's unfortunate that I couldn't come up with any other ones. The Headless Tool Man.
I don't remember it, so it's fine. Yeah. All right. Horror in the Homestead.
Okay.
Yeah.
You strike me as a man who likes to use the word homestead a lot.
If that means I strike you as a man that likes to use more intelligent sounding words in place of easier words to sound superior.
You say, I'm going to go home to my dwelling at the end of the day at work.
It's not that far off. Yeah, probably.
All right. The second one is based on a true story.
What is it?
Well, Mark is named Clark. Everything is a little too close to home.
Okay, sure. Knights of the Living Tailors.
Good.
Yeah.
Very good. The Master of Suspense. Hey, I'm a Hitchcock guy. You're a Hitchcock guy.
All right.
Mark has now taken the mantle.
Yeah, he's no Quentin Scarantino. Okay. Director.
Man, you got some good ones.
Hey, I appreciate you saying that.
All right, my last one is an eerie early screening.
That's pretty good.
Is it? What are you scribbling out over there?
The one I have so many, I have to cross them off.
Yeah, just don't want to read them twice. I understand.
All right, last one. Cutting my parents' heads off.
Any more for you?
The last one's not even worth reading, but I'll read it. It was Halloweener.
Halloweener?
Yeah, because they were doing the race.
Oh.
Doing the race, aka racing. That's an example of me using a dumber word in place of a better one. So.
Doing the race.
I'm doing the race.
Overall, you had some really good ones, though.
Oh, you're sweet to say that.
So sweet. It's almost Sweetest Day, right? I don't know. All right.
I would not know.
Yeah. All right. Episode walkthrough. We're going to open on Tool Time. Really strange opening. Heidi, her face is superimposed on a pumpkin head on a scarecrow. Yeah. I was creeped out, I guess, a little by this. I just don't understand what they were doing. And then she pops up, and everybody know what time it is. Tool Time, of course. The logo rides out on a broom, so must be taking classes at Hogwarts. It's Halloween week.
Must be. That's the only place you could learn to do that.
It's Halloween week. Wow, the crowd goes. We've talked about this. This is a real studio audience. They are extra stoked today. I don't know why.
Maybe it's pumpkin gag.
You think it's the Gordorama?
I think it's Heidi being superimposed on a pumpkin.
Well,
if you saw that in person, it's like watching Houdini pull a rabbit out of a hat. I can't believe it.
And in person, I guess they're probably just watching on a screen above them. So,
yeah, maybe.
So I don't know that we've ever seen a Halloween week before on Tool Time, but it's a pumpkin racing event that they're going to have between Al and Tim. And apparently this is a real thing. You know, I think we've seen this before where they find like really obscure type of events that people around the nation hold, and they're going to join in on the fun. They unveil their pumpkins, and Al's got the traditional, following the rules, just a jack-o'-lantern on a little bit of just a couple of wheels, basically. And he's going to use gravity to power it alone, which is the rules. Tim, however, is bending the rules, as he does, and he's put a chainsaw motor in his pumpkin. And Al's a bit miffed at this. Until Tim offers him a head start, and he takes it and runs with it, but runs without his pumpkin. Oof. So, time to race. They go up. It's just kind of like a little ramp that goes in a tiny, spiral, basically. It's nothing fancy, but Tim, as you can imagine what's going to happen here, Tim starts his off, and it flies off the track, and then starts on fire. Not sure how that works, but
It's a pretty lame special effect. Like, I don't know. There was a lot of buildup for basically his thing just, like, sort of slowly went up. Like you said, the track is very simple. I think it's basically like a right angle. Like, it goes down and then kind of curves to the right. Or maybe there's a bit of more to it than that. Basically, the first turn, it just kind of slowly goes over the ledge and hits the ground. It's about a 3-foot drop, and then it lights on fire. Yeah, I was pretty disappointed in it. I don't know. Felt like that, and that was the end of the scene, so I was like, well, glad we spent 4 minutes building up to that.
But before the end of the scene, my favorite part of the scene is a guy comes out with a fire extinguisher, and he's just got like a pumpkin hat on.
I did not notice the pumpkin hat.
Yeah, it was a little strange. I just like the idea that this guy comes out for this really tiny fire with a fire extinguisher, and he's just going to town at it. So that was a bit of unintentional humor. But that's the opening scene, like you said, not so stellar.
No, not really. It's pretty long, and like I said, it culminates in not a very satisfying way. It's really sort of just like, that's it, you know. But
from Heidi's face on a pumpkin to pumpkin.
Yeah, you know, it starts out in such a high note with that, and you think, okay, well, I see the special effects they're putting into this scene. We're probably going to get something really good, and you know, we just don't, Jordan.
Yeah, I guess that pumpkin is a metaphor, you know, for this scene, just crashing and burning.
I would say you are certainly right. Next scene. Brad's on the phone at home. We learned that, you know, he's back on the soccer team, so the conversation must have worked out with the coach, you know, because last week...
I like that little bit of keeping that continuation, but not in such a obtuse way.
Yeah, it's I joke and say things are subtle when they're not, you know, on the show. That actually was somewhat subtle. So, Brad's going to a Halloween party, and Jill asks Brad to invite Mark, but, you know, he doesn't really want to. Same goes for Randy. Randy's having a party, or going to a party with Lauren, and they're going as the scariest thing they could think of, Jordan. And you know what it is? Republicans.
Didn't see it coming. I would say that. It sounds like a Last Man Standing joke, you know?
Yeah, except he would say Democrats.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, isn't part of it like his son-in-law or something?
His family is like liberal, and he's
yeah. So we haven't heard very many political jokes on this show, so I just was not ready for it.
Yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, I don't know. The audience, audience liked it.
Did like it. You know what's a little more scary than even Republicans?
What's that?
Mark, and that's why Randy can't take Mark.
That's true. Yeah, he's Mark is Jill's concerned about Mark. He hasn't been talking as much lately. He's quiet. He's wearing black. He's hanging with Ronnie, and she wants him to go out with his brothers. It's gonna make things better somehow. Mark and Ronnie enter, and Ronnie, he's in rare form per usual, doing Ronnie stuff.
Star of this episode, Ronnie.
Ronnie. And Mark, he says, hey, I'm making a movie for my film class. It's going to be a horror movie. I need you guys to be in it. Can I borrow the camera? And, they say, you know, they're feeling pretty good about it. Jill's enthused. You know, Mark's got something to do. So she's happy about that. Yeah,
she thinks... I mean, she's getting the whole family on board, basically. There's a joke in the scene that Jill makes, and Ronnie, I think, likes it in a Ronnie way. Mm-hmm. Did you notice that? I mean, he doesn't actually respond, but he said, that's funny or something like that, you know, very deadpan. And I think for Ronnie, that means he likes it.
What was the joke?
I don't remember. I just wrote Jill makes a joke.
Oh, well, yeah. I don't remember that, but that sounds like Ronnie. Run.
Tim has some contract demands. That's the only other thing I wrote down for this episode before he's going to start the filming.
Yeah.
Tim's very high maintenance, you know?
Yeah, well, he's a star.
He is a star.
He's a star. Next
Later, what did you say? Director is starting the film?
Yeah, director.
That's right.
Mark is cutting my parents' heads off.
Mark is filming Jill and Tim. They are being... This is the whole scene here. We're going to get everybody in it, but... it starts out with Jill and Tim just being like, I would say, the prototypical family of the 50s, basically. Like, they have older garb on. Jill is being the homemaker at home, making, like, a delicious meal. Tim comes home and he made a great sale or got some special account. So you know what that means. I don't know if they're, like, getting a cabin or something, but you know what I mean. That's what it seems like. They're trying to make it like that. Very playing it up, going overboard. Brad comes in, kind of continues this perfect little family persona that they're putting on here. He's got full football regalia on, the helmet and everything. He just walks around like that, which I like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He scored the winning touchdown, so everybody's excited. Randy's very dressed up with like a tie and glasses and a nice suit coat. He got into Harvard and all the important colleges, so they're being very exaggerated, and they're wondering if they're going over the top. But Mark says this is perfect. It's going well. And then I think they leave. I think Ronnie and Mark, they're the ones filming and directing all that kind of stuff. They leave. They want to talk about the next scene. And the rest of the Taylors are a bit confused. Like, is this a horror film? I don't understand how it's going to work out.
They're pretty impatient. Like, it's been one scene, so
yeah,
why don't you just see where it goes? You know, like it's just like they're like, it's not immediately scary. So I guess
they
something's
expected
wrong.
To have the whole script. You know, they want to do a whole table read before it started, but they don't get that. Jill is very worried now that Mark's new hobby is going to go horribly wrong, and it's just going to make him spiral even worse, out of control. And that's kind of what we're left with at the end of the scene.
She's a real worrywart in this one, you know?
I would say so.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the look of everybody in this scene. It's exaggerated, but they all look very, very suburban and so on. I particularly like Brad's football outfit because it's like 1940s football. It's like, where did Mark get that, you know?
There's a prop shop.
Well, we do end up seeing the product later, and it's very professional, the video.
I think
Mark has a future.
I would say so.
All right. Fence. Tim and Jill are wearing, I wrote pantyhose on their head. I don't know what it actually is.
Yeah, it's some mesh thing, obviously.
It's what is the purpose? To contort their faces in such a way?
Yeah, it smushes their faces up, makes them look very strange and out of the ordinary.
So, Wilson is, of course, across the fence, and there's not a lot of substance here, but it's Wilson, and he's talking, so I guess we got to play a clip.
Well, heidi-ho, Taylor Tears.
Whoa, cool dude, Wilson.
So aerodynamic.
Well, actually, I'm dressed as a mad scientist for my scene in Mark's movie. You know, he's a very talented director.
Do you really think so?
Uh-huh. He was very clear. He knew exactly what he wanted. I think it's going to be an excellent movie.
What's the movie about?
I have no idea.
Neither do we. I just hope it's good to get some positive response.
Yeah, then maybe he'll come out of his shell, feel more comfortable socially.
Well, the teen years are difficult, but we always manage to get through them. You know, when I was Mark's age, my parents thought that I was an odd duck, and look at me now.
Wilson is playing a mad scientist, Jordan. He's got slicked back hair and
big old glasses.
And yeah, it's quite a thing. There's not really any advice here because it's coming pretty early in the episode.
Right.
There's a joke that is like, would you believe I was what is the joke? It's like, I was difficult during my teen years, and
he was like weird, but look at me now.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh man. Yep. Whoa.
But Wilson does find Mark to be a talented director.
Indeed he does, yeah.
And Wilson would know because he was directing that play so long ago.
Yeah, well, Mark is better than Wilson. They should have asked Mark to step in and do that play.
He was a little young at the time. He needed to get a little more seasoned.
It was like a year ago, but yeah. In Home Improvement time, yeah. It's not a great Wilson fence scene, but we're going to get more of Wilson later, so don't even worry about it.
That's right. Later, Tim brings in another pumpkin, and they're going to... I guess they're keeping this storyline alive because it was so good to start with.
I'm not sure. Yeah, it did not come back. It doesn't come back at the end either. So it's, I really thought we'd get a final scene with it, but we don't. It's kind of strange.
No, but they do. Basically, it's all kind of a setup to get to the tapes. Basically,
right.
So he's going to modify a pumpkin for a rematch with Al. He wants to rewatch the race and maybe find out some things that he missed and make sure he's covering all his bases. And they go through some of the tapes that are there and make some jokes about that. And they find Mark's movie. Mm-hmm. Don't ask me how this is going to work. I don't really know why part of his movie is already out if it's not finished.
It's incredibly convenient. The tapes that they're going through, it's kind of funny too because it's like referencing things that we've seen happen on the show, like gluing a table to your head and things like that. So it's clever. But yeah, why so the film is not finished. but he's edited everything together. It's very professional, and he has the tape just sitting there in the collection. It is, yeah.
Inexplicable. They promised they wouldn't watch it, though, without him, and they decided to check it out anyway. They just want to make sure that he's on the right track, and they make excuses saying, like, it's good for our character, blah, blah, blah. So, film starts. I'm surprised you didn't want to play a clip here, but...
Hey, not too late.
It is too late. All right, so it starts out the film starts out, and Mark is kind of like standing there giving like a little monologue. It felt very Twilight Zone to me.
It's very Rod Serling-esque. It's black and white, and there's like one abstract sort of shape. There's like a square.
Well, there's a window that's tilted sideways in the background.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a window. I just saw a shape, but it's kind of funny. I was so lazy when I watched this that I couldn't quite reach the remote, so I just watched it on my phone on the couch in the living room. So it's kind of hard to see.
So objects are a little bit different, I guess.
Yeah. That's peak laziness.
It made me think about the 60th anniversary thing that I might be going to tonight for the Twilight Zone. So
yeah, I'm going to be gone when it's playing. Bummer. Is it tonight for everybody?
Yeah, I think it's just like nationwide select theaters and whatnot.
Yeah,
so.
I'm leaving for a trip tomorrow. That was why I ended up... Are you going tonight for sure?
Not 100% for sure, but I would say... I'd give it... Yeah, I'd give it a more than 50% chance.
That's cool. So. Yeah, it's like 3 hours, so...
Yeah, it'll be a long time. I think there's a documentary, and they're playing 6 of the best episodes, so... I was looking at the online because you have to pick out your seats ahead of time and stuff.
Of course.
And I looked like a couple days ago, and at a local Regal theater, and there was like 3 seats picked. So maybe not as popular as they thought it would be, or maybe it's just the theater. Maybe the one that's closer to Disney will have more people at it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was playing only one place, kind of locally. What's the name of it? I feel like for context we should have the name.
It's from Fathom Events, and it's like the 60th anniversary. Obviously, when this comes out, it will have already happened, but
it'll be a good streaming thing probably at some point, though.
Yeah, we'll see if maybe it's on CBS All Access at some point. Who knows? But yeah, that's what it made me think of. But anyway, back to the actual film, Mark's film, or should I say, Clark.
You should.
All right, so Clark has given his little monologue. He's talking about how he's the forgotten one in this perfect family. And Clark's got a plan to make them feel very sorry. And Tim and Jill are... I don't know. I struggle, at least at the beginning, by saying maybe they're rightfully a little scared of this. Maybe not. I'm not sure. But it continues. There's a mad scientist scene here. Mm-hmm. And Clark needs a potion to make them look weird. That's what we got with those little stockings on the faces earlier. Al makes an appearance as Al Gore.
And Wilson is Dr. Wilson
Stein?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So that's, I don't know, pretty interesting.
It looks great. It really does.
It does. It's pretty good.
Like the special, well, there aren't really special effects, but it has great atmosphere. It's black and white. It's shot very professionally, almost as if the Home Improvement crew shot it, as part of the episode. It looks lots of different camera angles, probably running 3 cameras at a time. It's good. Yeah, Wilson and Al in particular, that scene looks very good.
Very good. Yeah, great actors. Clark has now turned his family into zombies. He has Heidi as well as a girlfriend of sorts.
He's him and Heidi they're sleeping together. They are. She's feeding him root beer, and they are sexual partners. I think the implication is
that's what it seems like. Clark will get rid of his parents forever. That's the kind of like the ending line before everything goes static. And Jill is terrified, and Tim loves it. Tim thinks this is great.
I have a lot to say, I guess. Where do I start? I mean, I really did not like the fact that they found the videotape in their VHS collection.
The logistics are very strange.
They should have just, it's so easy. Just, have the video camera down there, and, you bump into the table, and the old deck opens, and the video pops up, and you're just, tempted. I don't know. Or he leaves the tape on the table. It could have been anything but that. I just thought that was really dumb.
You would have liked it if they were doing laundry and then it was in Mark's big old cargo pants.
Sure, it's a TV show, so it's gonna be dumb, but it doesn't need to be this dumb. This cargo. Yeah, it would be cool if big black sheet cargo. Oh, it's tape. My take on it is, yeah, they should be concerned by
I
this.
agree.
They
It's pretty scary.
Be more concerned. And the ending does Mark's. The ending of the episode does little to kind of persuade me that this isn't a concern, but we'll get there. Yeah, it looks good. But yeah, he's describing his life basically. He's changed everybody's names. They're basically Clark and Randy, and what's Randy's name? Randy and Brad are like
Chad and I don't remember what
something
Randy's
along
name
those
is.
lines. Yeah. So yeah, I mean it's concerning, and he does talk about wanting to teach his parents a lesson and potentially like killing them. So yeah, I think it's a concern. I also like the ending because it's kind of like the Home Alone thing of like, what is, if you're young, what is the best possible scenario for you? Well, it's sitting on a couch next to an attractive woman, having her serve you root beer. It's like Macaulay Culkin sitting in the back of a limousine, drinking pizza and Pepsi, and going to a toy store. Like it's sort of juvenile in a funny way. So
Yeah, that is good. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I'll let you take the next scene as Mark sets up the final scene of his documentary, or not documentary.
I mean,
it seems like it. Yeah,
in
mockumentary.
In some ways, yeah. Mark, this is the predecessor to Borat.
Yeah.
Continuing on, I mean, I don't have a lot of notes here. I hope I didn't miss anything. Joe's concerned. Tim is kind of impressed by the whole thing, and like
he is.
He's creatively impressed, and he's not concerned by the fact that it does seem to be very much emblematic of his life. They are getting ready to head outside for the final scene, and Tim is excited about getting killed. That's kind of all I wrote. I don't know if there's more to it.
Well, so Mark like pops up at one point and says like "ready to die."
Oh yeah.
So that doesn't help, and it is positively spooky. There's like strobe lights and spooky music and fog, and everything looks very professional. We wondered what Mark would be good at, and first it was piloting a plane, and now it's most definitely horror movies.
It's funny that like in the show 6 months ago, Mark was like psyched because that blue angel showed up at the door, and now I guess that might just be what it's like having kids. I don't know. Like maybe they just like things change really really quickly. But I was thinking about that during this one, how like. It wasn't that long ago he was mad at his dad because he blew off his birthday party or something. They're going to monster truck rallies, and now we're dealing with this.
It all drove him to this moment. I do also, Jill, talking about like the scary aspect, Jill is very worried. She's like trying to change the script and insert like a dancing number and all sorts of stuff. Tim is the first one who gets to die here. So they put his head on the chopping block, and he's got a real blade, and like Tim at this point, so Tim was very excited about everything, and now he's kind of getting concerned with like the real blade. He's like, can we just use a rubber one or whatever? And Mark goes to chop down, and Tim and Jill yell out. They're like, nope, let's go inside. We need to chop.
Jill yells cut really fast, yeah. The blade that they're using, though, they make a point to talk about how real it looks, and then they show it, and it looks really, really fake. I wonder if like legally you're not allowed to use a real blade or something, because they do talk a lot about it, and they showed it, and it was not convincing at all.
It seems like a bad idea to use a real blade like that.
I know, but, you got to make it realistic, Jordan. Come on.
So they go inside and chat. Jill and Tim have had enough. They want to get down to brass tacks here. So Jill shares her concerns, and Mark is mad because you know what? They watched the movie.
Mark's
and he
mad.
told them not to.
Mark's also mad earlier when Jill yells cut. He like kind of... So throughout the episode, Mark is like kind of... it's sort of almost like doing a Vincent Price impression, sort of. It's very like, are you ready to die? Like he's talking like that. And then, but then when his mom yells cut, he's like, Mom, you my freaking shot! It's like, all right, yep, he's back.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like that. And it's how his tone is continued here when he's mad they watch the movie. So
yeah,
Mark is incredulous. Nothing's going on. It's just a movie, blah, blah, blah. And he says, I'm not like Brad and Randy. I guess there is kind of something going on here, but it's not as extreme as this movie makes it out to be. Of course, he's saying, like, it doesn't seem okay that you don't like my friends, you don't like my clothes, you don't like my nail polish, all that kind of stuff. And they're honest with him. They say, it's hard and it's an adjustment, and we want to try to support you in what interests you, but maybe try not to chop off our heads or something like that. I don't know. He says, Mark says, like, you really want to help, let me chop off your heads. and they agree as long as he uses the hard rubber blade. Mm-hmm. Mark leaves, everyone feels good, and then Ronnie
beckons.
I wrote Ronnie beckons as well.
So did I.
Very creepily. Yeah. So I guess that's how they're gonna go until the final scene, and maybe this is what you were alluding to earlier.
Well, there's one thing that happens. If I'm not mistaken, the last scene ends. Tim and Jill are heading towards the door, and like Tim pushes Jill out, closes the door, and then goes upstairs because he's like afraid.
Yeah, he kind of. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's a joke afraid, but
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Final scene. I don't know. I never know what to do with this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's the Wilson's really Santa type thing.
Yeah, it is exactly the Wilson's really Santa theory. Yeah, that's funny. Okay. So like, he's they're. We didn't mention earlier, but earlier in the episode, Randy and Brad. It's after they film that opening scene. Randy and Brad have like their heads in a basket.
Oh, yeah.
I guess we need to set that up to make this sort of count. They have their heads in a basket, but it's like the thing where they're underneath something and their bodies are obscured, but it looks like it's just their heads, chopped off in this basket. So we get the same basket here, and it's Tim and Jill's head, and it's stationary when we see it, and we assume, okay, well, they must just be their bodies must be obscured, they must be under something. But then the basket is being carried by Mark and Ronnie, and their bodies aren't underneath it, and it's just their heads in the basket, and we get jokes like, my back doesn't hurt anymore, and Jill says, oh, I feel so light. And, Mark's killed his parents. It's a weird way to end a very wholesome family sitcom, and it's definitely a step in a different direction, and I look forward to the show without the Taylors moving forward. No, I don't know, it's just stupid. I hate this kind of stuff, to be honest.
It would be pretty strange to have, like, right after this, like, the episode ends, and you know how sometimes they do, like, a preview of the next episode?
Yeah.
It's like, next time on Home Improvement, and they're just completely normal again, so I don't know.
Next time on Home Improvement, a double funeral. Mark's on the run.
Mark's ready to win.
Mark and Ronnie do meth. Next time on Home Improvement. Yeah, roll credits, fade to black. A night to Dismember. Jordan, Castle's Corner.
Hey, you remembered it.
Yeah, I did it.
Hey, you probably wrote it down this time.
Yeah, hey, you'll never know.
I'm going to call this one uneven, I guess.
Sure, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, talk about the lows, like the really long... Heidi has a pumpkin head on a scarecrow, and that whole opening scene.
Poor Debbie Dunning in this episode. She has to do that pumpkin thing, and then she has to pretend to be Mark's girlfriend. I mean...
that's a rough
tough.
ask.
She should have been at that Lamaze class.
Hopefully she got paid double for this episode.
Well, I gotta call Scott and tell him I'm serving Mark root beer.
So yeah, that's a low. The whole pumpkin race is a low. I do actually like the filming. Like, as you said, it looks really good. Mm-hmm. The whole logistics of them finding the tape are just stupid.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And it's like too sitcom-y, It's just a step too far. I don't necessarily hate like the actual beheading scene as much as you. Like, I just kind of ignore it. You like actually negatively hate it, so we're kind of on the same page, but you go a little bit further in that one. I do think like Mark does a really good job of making the scene spooky and stuff, and making it believable as far as like they should be scared. So I enjoyed that part of it, as far as I thought that was realistic, or they did a good job of making that seem realistic. But it seems like a super sophisticated problem that they seem to solve really quickly, like in 3 seconds.
Yeah, this should end in like therapy. You should be talking to somebody,
And they're just like, oh, we'll support you.
Yeah.
That's it. So, I don't know. Really good actual Halloween stuff. Really uninteresting and not great story. How about that?
Yeah, that's fine. Sure.
What do you think?
I don't like this one. No.
No, I just don't. Don't ask me about it.
I don't like it. That's it. Social media. It's a big hat. It's funny. No. Not Not much really worked for me. I guess highs I'll start with because I probably have fewer highs. The actual video does look good and it is cool and kind of scary and well done. They didn't like half-ass the video. It would have been easy to just slap something together, but they put some time into that. They made it look good. There's good costumes and it has sort of atmosphere. I suppose this is good acting for Mark. I guess this is a good version of Mark in terms of what we've got and what we're gonna get. I guess he's somewhat eerie. I don't know. It doesn't. It is what it is. Other things, the Republicans joke is okay. Didn't see that coming. Lows. I don't like the opening. The pumpkins, kind of silly, and wasn't impressed.
It's got to be bad because you love pumpkins.
Well, I love pumpkins so much I hate to see them, just tossed to the floor without any good special effects. So
disenfranchising pumpkins in this episode, and we don't like it.
Indeed, yes. The videotape, what you talked about, them finding the videotape is dumb. The actual problem is much larger than the solution would lead you to believe. Like, I don't know, they should be worried. It's concerning. He is... it seems like he's out of touch with reality, but then we get to the end, he's like, I just feel a little bit, I feel like you guys are not accepting me for who I am, but I don't know, does that necessarily work in unison with the fact that he wants to try to kill his parents in this video? Like, there's a metaphor, and then there's maybe a little bit more than that, and it just felt like trouble, and they just sort of dismissed it at the end. I didn't really buy that. It was like a 2-minute conversation, I
think it was like a 30-second conversation.
It was like a less than 1 minute conversation, I guess. It's not that funny, really. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, I didn't like it. I don't know. I guess I really like the Halloween episodes generally, and I have sort of high expectations, and this just did not meet my expectations. I was pretty disappointed by this one. So
There you are. All right, let's talk about social media. If you'd like to reach out to us, go to thehomeandpodcast.com, Twitter and Facebook, Home and Podcast. That's our handles. And we're on YouTube as well. Subscribe if you haven't yet. You can support us by going to patreon.com/homeandpodcast. We talked about Disney Plus a little bit earlier. We talked about doing, for December, I think it is, we're going to do a Goofy movie. So if you want access to that, go to patreon.com/homeandpodcast, and we'll get that up there in a month or so. And if you want to support us, you can also go to iTunes or Apple Podcasts or whatever you use to listen to your podcasts and leave us a review. 5 stars helps other people find us. And I think we got 1 extra, so now we're up to 44. So keep going. If you write something, we'll read it on the air and give you a shout out there. So, Adam.
Yeah.
I think you've got some poll results you want to discuss and some tweets, and let's hear it.
I definitely do. I was going to ask you earlier, is this the most Mark-centric episode we've ever gotten?
Yeah, it has to be.
I mean, is this... Yeah, it's either this or, like, the glasses, right? There's more Mark in this one than the glasses.
Yeah, there's other side stuff going on in those episodes.
Yeah, this is basically just Mark. Yeah, okay. Sure, okay, whatever. Just wondering. All right, polls. Mark in Season 7 is ... 16 total votes. 6% said evil. 13% said being himself. 25% said goth. 56% said struggling.
Wow.
What do you think, Jordan? I'd say being himself.
Being himself. I don't know what that means, really.
I mean, that's why it can't be wrong.
All right. 56% say struggling.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they should have talked about in this episode more. More struggling.
Maybe. Did you dress up for Halloween? This is, we're a little past Halloween, but 29 total votes. 72% said no. 28% said yes. We got a response on this one from at Cleotrain. She said, Tim and Al dressed up into their 40s. I'm 39, and I live my best home improvement life, so I absolutely dressed up.
That's what I like to hear.
Hey, I'm living my best home improvement life, too. This is the poll I've been kind of excited for, Jordan.
You don't say that very often.
I don't.
You do a lot of polls, but you don't say that very often.
I'm seldom excited about them. I mean, obviously the Ferris Bueller one I was excited about. All right, so in 2019 dollars, what do you think Tim's annual Binford salary is? I'm going to give you the options, and I'm going to have you guess what you think people said, okay?
All right.
So listen up. Annual Binford salary, 50K to 75K, 75K to 100K, 100K to 125K, more than 125K. What did people vote? And I'll let you know that it was very, very close.
Really? So when you asked me, my opinion was going to be like right around 100K, so I'm kind of on the border of a couple there. What do I think people voted for? I think they voted for 100 to 125K.
People voted for more than 125K.
That's ridiculous.
That's too much, right? There's no way.
No way.
I'll give you the actual results. 31% said more than 125K. 29% said 100 to 125K. 29% also said 75 to 100K. 10% said 50 to 75K. So it must have been a good poll because people were kind of unsure. I would say 75K to 100K.
Somewhere in that range.
Yeah, right? Because 125K, like, that's a lot. I mean,
I think 100K is kind of where he's at, but 50K, 50 to 75K, that'd be rough. I feel like for how long he's been doing that.
Yeah, yeah. That's probably how much Al makes.
I mean, imagine. Yeah, I agree with that. Imagine like all the different satellites he's gotten Binford into.
I mean, if that's how much Tim makes, Jill should have left him from Ron Dahl years ago. Because Ron Dahl's pulling in Ron Dahl. I'm gonna do a Ron Dahl salary poll, but it's like $250 probably, right? It's either $250 or he's in so much debt that you just
his net worth is negative $500,000.
All right, other things on Twitter. I ran into a book with Patton on the cover at a local bookstore, and it made me think of the Colonel, so that was nice. I always like to think of the Colonel. Yep. Bookstores. Danny reached out to us at Danny, I guess. I don't know. He or she said, finally got to catch up on the latest episode. I like the idea in the script about Tim being behind the fence. So, hey. Nice we all do. We're going to start
that idea. Grassroots movement of Tim being behind the fence.
Hashtag Tim behind the fence. All right, a couple more polls here. Not as good. Are you a couple ducker? 12 total votes. 42% said yes. 58% said no. Is it fun to stay at the YMCA? 67% said yes. 33% said no. Also 12 votes. Are you a fan of Tim in tank tops? And I am shocked by the results here. 15 total votes. 33% yes, 67% no. Y'all must be crazy.
Yeah, that's just wrong.
And your mom? Yeah, your mom. She chose to abstain.
Did she say that?
Yeah.
Well, she just got her knee replaced, so maybe she was on some pain medication. Because I know she likes it.
It'd be funny if your mom sent like a
heart emoji.
Yeah, or just like a person like slobbering, like she was really into it.
I'd have to immediately fly home to figure out what's going on.
You'd be like, Mom, meatloaf. Yeah, that's it. That's a lot of stuff, though. Jimmy Carter's doing well. Jimmy Carter is probably best known for being in an episode of Home Improvement, so I like to give updates. Best known
for sure.
Yeah. Otherwise, follow us on Twitter, polls, fun, revolution in some ways.
In all ways.
I want your Crankmas takes. We're calling it Crankmas, Christmas with the Cranks. So yeah, start thinking about what questions you have or things you have to say about that. I did get one response pretty early on that someone was like, "That's a terrible movie," and I said, "Yeah, but I think the Santa Claus 3 is worse." But we'll see. I don't know.
It's a lesser of two evils, perhaps. But you told me that even if this podcast has ended, we're still coming out of retirement to do the Santa Claus 3 next year. So
yeah, we have to finish the Tim Allen.
We are completionists.
Trio. We are, yeah.
I did see, speaking of Tim Allen and Disney Plus earlier, they do have Jungle to Jungle. So get on Disney Plus, watch Jungle to Jungle, and then listen to our episode about it.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. What's the boy's name in Jungle to Jungle?
Mimi Siku or something?
Mimi Siku. Look at your memory. Yeah.
I don't have important things in there, but I do have Mimi Siku.
Mimi Siku. You got Mimi Siku and Martin Short bebopping and scatting all over the place.
Oh, man.
That Tarantula's the real star, though. You got Forky as a spin-off show on Disney Plus. I want to know, when's that Tarantula getting a spin-off?
Hey, Spider! Ooh, Spider!
Is that from the movie? Are you quoting?
That's like the big Russian guy when he sees the spider in his head.
Yeah, rest in peace, David Ogden Stiers or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, he was scared of that spider. What was the spider's name?
Oh, man. What was the spider's name? Did the spider have a name? It must have.
It's a female spider.
Oh.
Tarantula.
Yeah, you're looking it up, I think.
No, I'm not.
Okay. We should.
Using my brain.
All right.
Ooh.
Spider. You can edit out the dead air. I know you won't.
Can you just give me like one letter for the first letter?
M.
M.
Yeah.
Meh.
Yes.
Meh.
So far, so good.
Meh.
I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get it.
Metika.
Matika.
Yes, Metika. Man, what a satisfying discovery that was.
Boy, it was. All right. Do we have anything in the mailbag? I don't think so this week, right?
No, nothing in the mailbag, unfortunately.
All right. People need to start writing us questions.
Only if they want to.
No, they have to.
All right.
I require one question from every listener, so.
That's fine. By all means. Jordan, anything else you want to share?
Next week, you know what we're covering?
What is it?
The Niece.
It's called The Niece?
Yep.
What's that going to be about?
You don't remember who has a niece come visit?
Wilson?
That's right.
Oh, man. I wonder if maybe there'll be like a little crush, Brad and the niece. That could happen. Or she's probably weird, though, right? That's probably Is the joke going to be that... No, here's what the joke's going to be. That she's...
You don't remember this episode?
No, do you?
Yes, I do.
Jordan, I don't remember. I don't have an encyclopedic, I guess. I don't remember this episode, no. I bet the joke is that she's actually really normal.
I'm going to let you find out.
Oh, man, I can't wait a week. Okay, all right, well, hey, Jordan, it's been a pleasure. Happy belated Halloween, I guess. We only got one more Halloween episode left, which is kind of sad. This one was not that good, so hopefully next year's will be better. Listeners, thank you for listening. I should say take care.
Take care, everybody.